I see
Yeah, it's Lisa.
Okay.
The connection for the video Zoom doesn't work. I'm going to try to do it on my laptop.
Okay.
Let's see here. Close out of that. Who else is on?
We have from our staff, we have Allison, me, Amy, and Diana. From the board, we have
Great.
Kevin, Ramona, Ali, Joe Ceres, and you.
Great.
And then we
Okay.
also have Darius from Harris Beach.
Oh, hi, Darius.
Hello, good afternoon.
So we have a quorum, right? That sounded like a quorum.
Yes.
Okay.
So we can go. You can open the meeting however you generally do it, and if you take a roll call and then open the meeting.
I'm going to try to do this and pull up documents at the same time on the same deal here.
Do that if you want.
Get out of here. Don't want that. Want that. Want that. Okay. Let me find the agenda here. Okay, let's see. Okay, here's the agenda. Okay. Okay, so I have the agenda, and I'm still trying to log on my laptop, but in the meantime, I'll just have to do it through voice. So we've got our attendance. We need to review the March minutes. Does everybody had a chance to review them?
We actually didn't send the minutes this time. We'll have to do that for the next time.
Okay. Okay, moving right along. Financial report.
So I sent along a draft of the March report. The April one wasn't ready yet. I don't know if people got a chance to look at that. I just sent it this afternoon. And it's also in the chat box if you want to open it there.
Yeah. Let me see here. That's done. I'm still playing around because I'm going to try to get on, and I have to keep jumping between documents or between emails to get the Zoom ID and stuff. Do you want to? Has anybody looked at the financial document?
Looking at them now, Lisa.
Okay.
The main thing in March was that we sold several properties. And so there's on the profit and loss, you'll see under property sales and income, $546,870.
Yeah.
So that was probably the most significant thing. And then I guess they take it off of assets. Is that how they always do it, Amy? Where the release of property value at sale?
Yeah, exactly.
So it comes out as a loss.
Holy moly.
How difficult is it to get a, obviously not for this meeting, but a P&L statement, the same time period for a year prior? Is that difficult?
No, we
Just have-
can run that, right?
You can print that. yeah.
Compare it to last year at this time.
Oh, my Lord.
So what we can do is, we could also, for the next time, review both March and April, and
Yeah, I think if you don't mind, Jen, at this time, while I'm trying to get on and you know, on the video, if you can just go ahead and run the agenda,
okay.
because I can't pull up the agenda and this at the same time.
We need a motion to approve this, right?
If you're going to approve it today, yes, you do.
But we're saying maybe put it off.
You
Put
want
both
to table it?
Yeah, table it till next month's meeting.
Then you can have the March, April, and May statements and approve those in June.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, sorry, my agenda went away.
Okay.
So, the next topic is, legal representation. So I just, was saying that, Dave Rothman, who's been representing the land bank for a while now, was let go from Harris Beach. I guess due to, this whole crisis we're in. And so Darius, you had the White Plain office, is that right?
Correct, yes.
He's gonna be taking over for Dave. And that is what I have here today.
Okay. So that we can, let's make a motion to approve Darius as the replacement for David.
I'll make that motion, if a motion's
Thank you.
required.
Second?
I think Kevin was trying to second, but he's muted.
Oh, unmute yourself, Kevin.
I am so sorry. I'm ruffling papers over here. I didn't want you guys to hear that, but yes, I seconded that.
So all in favor?
Oh, thank you.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, welcome, Darius.
Thank you. Glad to be part of your organization. It's great.
And so then the next thing was the yearly review Diana has put together, and we sent out a draft today. Again, I don't know if people got a chance to look at that.
I didn't. Oh, come on.
Yeah, briefly.
Does anybody have any questions or comments?
My only question is this looks good. It's very impressive. I just asked if you can, once we're up and running and the city is meeting again, can you come and present to the council this report?
Sure.
I think it would be helpful. And, you know, just to go over the numbers, the properties that were sold. Also, the second page, let's see. The county tax, city and school revenue that was generated. I think it would be good for the public to hear that as well.
Oh, yeah, we'll do the highlights tour kind of thing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I agree, this looks great. The only question I had was, only 5 properties were sold? That just stared at me as low, but it could be accurate.
Yes, it's low. We didn't sell the Rubco properties. That has been subsequently pushed off to hopefully this year. That would have been one of the major sales of last year, but it was supposed to happen, I think, in late October, but it is now happening this year.
Do you know when?
They just scheduled it for June 11th.
Okay.
And we've been this is Darius, we've been in contact with their attorneys. They indicated their financing and funding should be ready to go. So we're at tentative June 11th. We'll keep our fingers crossed, but it looks good as of now.
Great.
My agenda keeps going away. So then we're moving into, well, any other comments about the yearly review, or do we want to approve it now or have a chance to look at it more for the next meeting?
I haven't had a chance to look at it. I saw that it popped up today, and I got home 5 minutes before Amy
Yeah, no,
texted me.
understandable. So let's leave that for next month then.
Okay.
All right.
And okay, so the property related matters.
Jennifer,
So,
I don't know if you saw it, there's Horton and Donut are in the waiting room.
oh, I thought I removed the waiting room.
And Diana's muted.
Thank
Hi,
you.
I keep getting muted as well. I've been trying to talk and it says
I'm
the
so
host
sorry.
is
I
muting.
thought I unmuted everyone. I don't know why that keeps happening.
Thanks.
What did you want? Did you have anything to say, Allie?
No, he's muted again.
Yeah, I just wanted to vote was all, but it's okay.
Oh,
For some reason, when we mute ourselves in order to prevent background noise, we can't unmute.
Yeah, and I don't think you don't want to hear my crying baby.
Is there any
so.
way to be able to regulate that from your end, Jen? It says that the host can only unmute us once we mute ourselves.
oh, allow participants to unmute themselves.
Yeah, that'd be.
Thank you.
Sorry. I'm not used to being the host.
Oh, geez. I'm not having any luck getting onto Zoom on it's telling me to create accounts. I have Zoom, but they don't like me.
Okay.
So I'll have to do like this.
That's fine.
Just got a message from Joe Donut, said he can't get on.
Yeah.
Everybody
Are they still in the waiting room or?
Yeah, both Bill Horton and Joe Donut were waiting. I think they both quit waiting.
Mhm.
I don't see anyone
Well,
in the waiting
go
room.
ahead.
No, he said he had to leave.
He just emailed that he had to go do something else.
Oh.
Does that impact our quorum?
No.
Oh, he wasn't on.
Okay. Good.
I am on.
There you are.
There I am. Oh,
Hey,
sorry,
Lisa.
I've been out in the garden. Wasn't prepared for this.
Same thing with Dave Potak. He's saying he can't get on either.
Are they using the Google, the old room? Because I still had that invitation live on my calendar.
Really?
Yeah, I had to use a convoluted process to get on also, and I couldn't even tell you what that process was. I just kept playing around till I got there, but it wasn't straightforward.
I sent Chief Horton the same link I was using, and he still can't get on with that.
I don't know why that is. That's strange. Well, should we move forward?
Yeah, I'm just pulling up the agenda again on my phone. Oh, wait, yeah. Agenda went out yesterday or the day before? Yesterday, right? No,
Yeah.
Friday?
Well, the next thing on the agenda is property or development projects. The House to Home program, which is part of the enterprise funding. We have, you know, the next round of buildings to complete our, you know, we have to do 3 more this year. And then we got additional funding to do at least 1 more after that. And so we have plans for 27 Johnston, or we have preliminary plans to submit to the planning board and to the ARC for 27 Johnston, that was just completed, and then for 43 Johnston as well. And then the other one that we want to get started is 136 Lander. So those are all the owner occupant home ownership opportunities, like the ones we just did with at 45 and 45A Lander, where the owner would live there and rent out a unit at 80% AMI for both owner and the tenant.
Is 136 Lander the building that where they're having a lot of issues?
And what kind of issues?
Like what?
There's been a lot of block parties over in that area, and apparently people have been cutting through the backyard.
That I didn't hear about that for that building.
Okay.
No.
All right.
You know, it may be. It's just that we haven't gotten word of it.
Okay. I'll get the exact address.
Oh, yeah, please. I can go over there tomorrow.
We also own one on that block. I don't know if that's the case, plus some of the vacant properties for Repco across the street on Chambers. So yeah, those addresses would be helpful. We can check on them too with our property management.
Okay, thank you.
We selected that bill. I mean, I actually haven't been inside it yet, but it's very nice looking on the outside, and there's a lot of work that's going to be going on in that block of Lander. I mean, as well as, you know, all the other work we're doing on Lander Street. And we thought that would be a good next project. So those are just in process, waiting for approvals from the city and to get started with the plans for 136 Lander. So the next item is the church properties, Pastor Burke, going to be selling us or dividing the church property on Chamber that has the lots on Lander connected to it, and we did sign a purchase agreement with them. And deposit, and it was just confirmed that they deposited our check for the down payment, but I don't believe they have sent us the executed purchase agreement. And I had sent that out to them, you know, maybe a couple weeks, like the beginning of March. So a couple weeks before everything closed down.
Right.
So it's possible that their authorities, their board or whatever, hasn't gotten around to meeting or whatever they have to do to sign the document.
Right. I guess I can call. I mean,
follow up and just see where it stands. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I had sent the materials to their attorney, so we can also follow up with their attorney.
That's a good idea. And with the Washington Street properties, I don't know if this RFP going out to the end of May is going to cut it either. Have you received anything?
We haven't received anything, but I've gotten a lot of emails for people indicating that they are planning on submitting something. And a lot of just requests for information or asking for the planning board documents. You know, the plans that we had that we said we would give people. So there's some rumblings going on, and it sounds like people are planning on submitting.
Has anyone asked
And
for an
that's why I'm
extension?
wondering.
No one asked for an extension, but I think the extension allowed more people to get involved. And I know I spoke to one person when at the time that we first did the extension. He said he was happy to have it.
Okay. Yeah, maybe just follow up with a couple people. If they're, you know, make sure they're still interested. I'm just wondering if we should extend it another month.
I spoke with Philippe yesterday, and he said he's planning on intending to submit by the deadline. I'm not sure about anybody else. That was also just in passing at the wine store.
Yeah, yeah.
Official business. And one other person emailed today saying they're planning on submitting by the
Okay.
That sounds
Well,
fine.
I guess
as long as, yeah.
let's look at those two, and if one of them looks good, we could just go with it. Or if they're not really what we had in mind, we could extend, you know. But let's see when they actually turn them in.
Yeah.
And again, that
Okay,
deadline
so,
is May 31st, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So how about if we make a motion to extend that deadline, and, oh, let me see, how could we word this? That to give you, Jennifer, the option to extend the deadline if you're not happy with any RFPs that get turned in, or the FPs, the proposal. What do you think about that?
I think what you can do, if I may, you can wait and see what comes in. And if you have a limited number, or you think people that would have generally submitted a proposal have not, Jennifer can update you at the next meeting and say, listen, we received 2 approvals. We think COVID had an issue here. We didn't get a lot of proposals. You know, I suggest we send this out again and give people, you know, another 30 days to respond. We can do something like that if you want.
Well, that's what I mean. I just want to, this will be the last time we can vote on anything until after the deadline. And I'm wondering if we should not do that right now.
You can do that.
Or can Jen just go ahead and extend it without the board vote?
They can do it either way. You can have a motion to grant Jennifer the authority to extend the timing of submissions for these proposals until, you know, make it June 30th.
That works.
And if you can notice,
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
if you can do a
works.
notice to you know, out in public, so people know that.
Right.
I can work with you on that if you need to.
Sounds good.
Okay, did we make a motion? I'm sorry, my landscaper just showed up and I'm trying to look at it.
So Ally Church, so moved.
Okay.
How about that?
I'll second. Ramona
That's
seconds.
wonderful. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Any opposed? Okay, we're into June. Campbell Street?
So Amy and I went today to see kind of what it looked like, because it had been a while since anybody had been in there.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a single family, so it doesn't fit into any of the other programs that we have right now. And we thought we could just do a request for applications to see if there's anyone interested in purchasing it as is. It's in worse shape than we had anticipated. And so I don't know if like it makes sense to just, you know, like just do an RFA and see, you know, what responses we get.
Do we want to put a price on it now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it, you know, is like an assessed value or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There-
that's-
oh,
that's-
yes, and we just got our assessment, so that's got to have a new number on it. Ally, can you get that over to Jen?
Yep.
Oh, great.
Jen, does that have a roof?
So
Is
I
there-
think we put on a roof. It's not completely airtight, like the walls don't go all the way up in some places.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty,
But it does keep, it's keeping it dry enough, it seems, inside.
yeah, I mean, there's not water pouring in or anything, but there's like a lot of open windows and a lot of openings.
So it's the smaller building that's next to the 3-story brick building, right?
There's like a lot on one side, and then yeah, there's a 3-story building, and then right next to it, 64 Campbell is also vacant, and also a
Okay.
small, similar.
Right.
size.
Okay. Thanks.
Vacancy on either side and across the street.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of vacant buildings right in that little area. Could be a really cute little house. It just needs a lot of work.
Okay, well, why don't we do that? Make a motion to put out an RFA and use the current assessment as the purchase price. And, you know, and then we'll go from there and see what kind of interest it.
I'm not looking at the assessment now, but if they said it looks better from the outside than it is on the inside, we may want to give a little more leeway on the price.
Okay, yeah, we could do it, or best offer kind of thing.
It's almost a shell.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Jennifer and I walked through it, but there's so many holes in the ceiling and the floor. It's one step away from being a shell.
And if the
Well, why
assessor
don't we
thought
have
it was
those
reasonable
numbers
from
that-
the outside, they may have not been able to see how bad it was on the outside, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
When they have a high assessment based on the actual known condition.
We're planning on having Mike Carr walk through too to give a structural report, so we can give that as part of the RFA so people understand the condition of the interior from a structural vantage point.
Right.
Okay, so let's take a vote to authorize this, and then when people get their numbers together, you can plug them in and get it out.
And then
Anyone like to make a motion to accept to put out an application for the premises of 62?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. RFA.
And then the deadline,
July 31st.
okay.
All right. Let's see, house to home. We mentioned that earlier, right?
Yeah, I did this.
No, that was for the other properties.
But we did, we sold 45A Lander in March, and then 45 Lander is in contract still. And we were contacted by the attorney or by the bank that they're ready to close. And so we're just, I guess, need to get that scheduled, but I think attorneys are a little behind with just how things have to be done now, but we can close.
Okay. So we're ready to go.
We're ready to go, and they should
Okay.
be ready to go as well.
Okay, so as soon as we can get the attorneys to agree on a date,
Yeah.
it'll happen. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Habitat Properties, 114 Williams sold. Okay.
Yeah, nothing really new to report there. They're completing exterior remediation
Mhm.
on some of the North Miller properties. And then at some point this year, we need to schedule closing to transfer ownership to them for all of those.
Okay, so we're ready to go on that as soon as we get dates.
Yeah, and I guess as soon as they're ready.
Yeah. I think there's just getting, hearing a little bit that they're trying to get up and running again. So.
Yeah, I mean, I know for them, it's more beneficial, like the longer we can hold on to it, the better.
Right. And I think they have like a skeleton crew that's been doing some work, like not employees, paid contractors to do some stabilization and things like that. But now they're trying to look at how to get volunteers back and things like that when we're allowed to.
Right.
Okay, Rupco. I finally got the documents for the lot line change and signed off on that on the Du Bois Street properties. So that's ready to go. That got hung up somehow.
Okay. So yeah, the closing was scheduled for June 11th. I had extended their purchase agreement through, I think it was through the end, through July, because it had expired the end of April.
Yep. Okay. So we're ready to go on those too.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Asbestos and.
So just ahead, this is just for Ramona, I guess. They have some things with council, I think, that probably need to be extended. So we should remember to follow up with that.
Okay.
I
thought we were. Oh, I thought we had already.
We did.
Wrap that up.
But let's just make sure that we extended it long enough. Because I
Okay.
remember having the conversation before I went out that there's no way they're not going to close before.
Yeah.
Or sorry.
Okay.
So we should just make sure that everything's done there.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, moving right along to asbestos abatement. 128 Du Bois, 140 Chambers in progress, and other ones were done already, right?
Yeah, so the remaining two in our current funding round, were the more complicated ones. 128 Du Bois, we're waiting on kind of the subcontractor, I guess, to provide an updated work plan and pricing, and then the carpenters actually have to be certified in lead and asbestos abatement in order to do the stabilization work. So we're waiting on that as well. And, and for things to open up more in terms of being able to do that level of work. 140 Chambers, I think we're just waiting for the permit to come through for doing the lead remediation.
Okay. Now the permit through the city?
Yeah, and it's too bad Bill couldn't get on the phone because, on the call, because he was, I guess we're waiting for his signature. But we submitted that a couple weeks ago, and the contractor is raring to go.
Okay.
And has done some setup work, I think.
So I can follow up with him. He was only approving per the governor's orders emergency work, but if there's some certifications that the person's going to work alone and safely, he may sign it.
Yeah, I mean, we had been in communication with him about that because she is working alone. And also there's an exemption for affordable housing.
Right. right?
Yeah, I think Bill was on board to sign it. He just, I don't know if he's gotten around to it, Ally. I sent him another email, but I didn't want to bother him too much.
Good idea.
Sounds good. I just texted him, so we'll see what.
All righty. 96 Broadway, what the heck is going on?
There was some, Dave had the sign off about, what was it for? There were certain declarations that we could sign off on now that they had completed, just to kind of.
I think there's a restricted covenant or something to that level on there.
So he had drafted that. I mean, once everybody's we're easier to get things signed off in person, we could do that.
So
But
is there
I just
anything
left
we
that
have
there
to
so
take
we don't
action on?
forget.
So we don't have to do anything. We're in waiting. We're just, can we sign anything? What can we do with that?
Well, if Darius is in possession of what Dave, I might have it also, but
I can look.
yeah. And I don't know if it's just like one signature needed and we just have to approve it. The board just has to approve it as a group.
Yeah, why don't we have the board approve it, and then you can sign as the director.
Good.
Okay.
So we need a motion to allow Jen to sign off on the release of covenants for 96 Broadway.
So moved.
Thank you. Thank
Second.
you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed to that? All righty, moving right along.
Jen, we can work offline just to finalize that document.
Yeah.
Okay, enterprise funding.
I think I said in the last meeting, we were approved for 475,000.
Yep.
That's
saw
the rest
that.
of the money left in the mortgage crisis settlement fund that they kind of divvied up between the land banks. We were approved to do the demolition of 44 South Miller and at least one other two-family homeownership opportunity, and then maybe, some extra money towards an additional one, but we would have to come up with other funding to complete it.
Okay. Yeah, funding's going to be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at home fund, like the county has home funds available that are applications due in June. I was going to try for that to try to complement some
Yeah,
of
anybody thinking caps on, because funding's going to be looking a lot different.
Yeah.
All righty. The land bank transfer tax legislation, what's going on with that?
I mean, nothing's going on with that, but it's kind of on hold now.
Yeah.
But there is, the Land Bank Association is still meeting, and they just brought in someone they just contracted with Center State, which does a lot of kind of assistance to different groups statewide, and they're going to be helping with some administrative stuff and as well as lobbying efforts. And helping to coordinate that to see what different legislative things we can do to continue funding for land banks. And so, they'll kind of keep us more up to date on what's going on and helping out with that. And there's also some, there's like the Wells Fargo settlement that happened. Maybe there's opportunities there and other things on the federal level. So, the statewide association is really looking at what are all the different ways, we can continue these efforts.
Okay. Do we have any other business anybody wants to bring up? Starting with you, Jennifer.
I don't think so.
Anybody else?
I'm good.
Okay. Are we ready? Do we need to go into executive session for anything? Nope. Hearing nothing. I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Hey, goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for trying this. We'll do better next
time.
month.
Each time we'll do better.
All righty. Take care, everybody.
Nice meeting everyone.
Bye.
Nice to meet
It
you.
was nice to meet you too, Darius. I look forward to working with you.
Me too.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.